In this video, we will be looking at pre-lab number 8, collision with a scale. Now, in our first section, we're asked to solve for our delta p, and I will do so by adding up all of the numbers here in my f scale minus mg, and multiplying that times my time, specifically the time interval between each step. And I'll notice here that I go from 0 to 0.02, and from here I go from 0.02 to 0.04. So what I'll do is I'll do f scale times 0.02. So let me draw it out as a formula here. The summation of my f scale minus mg. I'm going to multiply that times 0.02. And I'll get my delta p. Now, in the second section, we're asked to solve for velocity as the weight hits the force plate. So, let's look at this here. So we know that delta p is equal to mass times velocity. And we just solved for our delta p. So a simple rearrangement, v is equal to delta p over m. And this is how we solve that portion of the pre-lab. Now, in the third section here, we're asked to solve for a theoretical height from which the weight is dropped from. So, we can use a kinematic for this. Now, let's use this equation here, v squared final is equal to v initial squared plus 2a delta y. And in this case, we can call this h, we can call this delta y, delta x. In this case, I'm going to call it delta y. So, rearrange the formula. I find that delta y is equal to velocity final squared minus velocity initial squared over 2a, which in this case, a is equal to g, my 9.8 meters per second squared. Now, we're not asked to do this in the pre-lab, so this is the end of the pre-lab video, but in our lab we will be asked to compare our height values, okay? So I'm going to run you through that just right quick. So what I have is I have a height that I calculated, right? And I have a height that I was given, okay? These are h's. I called this earlier delta y. It's the same number. Now, to compare these two numbers, what I want to do is I want to use this formula here. My h calculated minus my h given. Absolute value of that number divided by my h calculated times 100. And this gives me the percent difference excuse me, between my two numbers. Now again, we won't have to do that for this pre-lab, but we will have to do it in our lab, so it's nice to know going forward. Alright everybody, that concludes pre-lab number 8 video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. Let us know what you think of these videos. It helps us keep making these videos and giving them out to you guys. If you have any more input, leave questions or comments down below, and come see us in the Tutor Center if you have any specific questions or concerns. Thank you guys.